Welcome everybody to SharpHR Career Corner. Today I'm excited to talk to Mike and Kanishka from G.R.O.W. Giving, Resources, Opportunities, and Wisdom. It's a Buffalo business Facebook group. This group is actually really amazing. The group is here to support local small businesses and sales professionals. They started the group during the COVID-19 pandemic, which we're still in, 8 weeks and counting. And as of Monday, G.R.O.W has over 600 members strong, which is just incredible. Welcome, Mike and Kanishka. How are you doing, guys?
Great, thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for being here. And I also want to mention that you actually have another co-creator, Connie Whitesell, who couldn't make it today, but we wanted to make sure that we mentioned her in this as well. If you could each tell us a little bit about how you started and where you're at now, and then we'll get more into the group itself. Who would like to go
I'll go.
first?
Oh, I guess I'll go.
Okay.
So I've lived in Buffalo all 37 years in the Buffalo area. And I've been in sales since I was 18 and, went from, started an outbound call center to an inbound call center, then went to banking for 8 to 9 years. And then I decided I needed to, I guess, about a year and a half ago, take a big risk and jump and do business insurance. And that's what I do now. And, kind of get into the entrepreneurial world, allow my entrepreneurial mind to start working. And that's what I've been doing. So I made a big career change not too long ago.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kanishka?
Awesome. So I've moved to the States 6 years ago for college at UB. I would consider myself a serial entrepreneur. I've tried a bunch of different businesses successfully and unsuccessfully in college. And then at the end of my years at college, I co-founded AVA Audio, which is a tech startup out of UB. And, I was a CMO for that company. And then using my skills last year, I started a digital marketing agency where I help businesses grow online and scale online. So that's kind of what I've been doing this year, just trying to get involved in consulting and offering technical services to startups and other local businesses. And then simultaneously using those skill sets that I acquired, I started, all these little side projects. So I have like an e-commerce store on Amazon and another website that sells Facebook ad courses. So yes, I've never had a 9 to 5, and that's my story.
That's great. Wow, you sound extremely busy, and I'm very tired just listening to that. So how did the idea start for this Facebook business group?
Yeah, it's interesting. So, there wasn't like a set plan to start, like, oh, we have to start this group. When everything happened, the main part of it was probably, 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago now. I guess we're losing track of time.
Yeah.
But when it started, I knew businesses were getting hit, and it really sucked to see that. And what I started doing is sending out, connecting with business owners that wanted to help the community, provide some free resources, free expertise, and that sort of thing. So I was sending that out in my newsletter for the first couple of weeks and just connecting with more and more people. Connie wanted to put together a Facebook group to just, provide resources and knowledge and really some information. And Kanishka, because he is involved in a lot of different things, and the operational side of things, we partnered together, and it just came about. There were no expectations. There were no like in-depth planning.
Wow.
Really, initially, I think it was just like the name. Coming up with the name, there was probably hours worth of back and forth on that. So I don't know if you want to add to that as well.
Yeah, I think all three of us just had different directions and things that we wanted to give back to the community. We had the ideas of workshops and networking and all these things. And I think thanks to not just ourselves, like other people in the community, like David Schaub, Western New York entrepreneur, we collided. And then because of those collisions, we, discussed about our ideas, and like we're all like action takers, I think. So within, I think, I met them the earlier that week, and towards the end of the week, Grow Buffalo was a thing already.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing for me as somebody who, and I really trying to think back like how I found out, but I think it just somebody must have been on it that shared an invite with me. And so I just kind of looked at it briefly and thought, this looks interesting. So I hit the click button. But after that, it is truly amazing for the idea that you didn't really sit down and really have a big plan and all of that to what it has grown to today. That's amazing because it looks from the outside very organized, very eventful. Like you guys work really well together as a team.
Well, I think now it is now. But I think initially there were, like I said, there were no expectations. I think we had the thought of doing the Monday call. And actually, I think one thing that has really helped is such a minor thing was going from a group text to the group IM message through Facebook.
Wow.
And it's just because it's so easy because we're in front of our computers and, you're constantly communicating with people. So that made a big difference. And that's how we do a lot of our communication with the speakers.
Okay.
So it's just, but we connect regularly and we're just constantly throwing ideas. We connect really well together, and ideas just continuously just naturally flow.
I think when we first started, it was just the coffee kickoff in the beginning. And then after a few people, reaching out to us, we're like, hey, why don't we do some networking events? Why don't we do some workshops? Why don't we do some office hours? Why don't we do a book club? And every time someone had an idea, I don't think we've said no yet, not once.
Well, it certainly is paying off, that's for sure. So did it actually begin? Because I was trying to look for like a real start date. Did it start about 8 weeks ago?
March 26th, I think, was like the official day it launched, and our first events was that Monday.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So we said in the beginning, the GROW stands for giving, resources, opportunities, and wisdom. How did you come up with that?
That's a great question. It was literally just through texts, which I was able to do it on my computer because it was my office number, but literally just probably, I don't know, maybe 100 plus texts back and forth. We were, we obviously had somewhat of a vision in terms of what we wanted it to mean, but we thought that the title, even really it's small in terms of everything, was really important. So that was one thing that we did initially spend a lot of time on. And then we're like, should we do an acronym? And then no, we didn't like an acronym. So I think I had the acronym, and then, I believe they decided on what each of those words were, and then we just agreed.
Wow. I mean, I know coming up with titles and reasons for things, it can take a lot of time and effort, especially with the logo too, which thank you both. You shared the logo, and I will also put that on here too as well. That's a great job. What part do you each play in this? How do you organize it?
I think from a creative point of view, all three of us ideate all day long. We all organize it. We fill every single role. So, before these events, we vet the speakers, reach out to them, talk to them, make sure they know how the structure works. And when the event is running, we mediate them, and we go back and forth. I think that's why we can have an event every day, because between the three of us, we share those responsibilities. So I don't have to be there all 5 events, but I probably prefer to be, so I am, but I don't have that responsibility. I think all 3 of us play like similar roles in that end.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think we all step in when we see something or we feel there's something that needs to be communicated, shared. Reaching out to somebody, we just know when to step in. I feel like, so nobody's doing really anything different than the other. We're just, I think we're just well connected and with each other and communicate well.
And how long have you all known each other?
I want to say 2 months, but for me at least,
really?
I don't know about Connie and Mike. I've I met Connie on the day we started Grow. Mike, I've known him a few weeks before that, but not well. So I've only known him like through
Two,
this.
yeah, I
Wow.
met him. I met Kanishka at an event maybe 4 months ago, and then we met probably a few weeks prior on a one-to-one, and then reconnected through this.
That's
Connie, I've
amazing.
known. Yeah, Connie, I've known for about a year, maybe probably a year and a half, give or year and a half, give or take.
Wow, you really all work really well together. For,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me that you've been best friends for like a long time.
Oh,
It seems like it.
Yeah. So what is, maybe you don't even have this really written out yet, but do you have a mission? Do you have a plan now, or are you still kind of winging it?
I think there's a degree of winging it, but at the same time, I think we all identify that we're trying to give back as much as possible. I think all three of us are closely related with what we do with other businesses. So like I have clients at our businesses. Mike has clients at our businesses. Connie that has clients at our businesses. So I think firsthand, all three of us experience the struggle people are going through and the desperation and just like how one kind word or one like new connection can make a big impact in someone's business. So I think our current mission is just to expose people to what's going on and what's available. And that's kind of, we're winging it in terms of how we're going to organize it, and we're open to opportunity as things come. We didn't plan for this to be a 600 people member, thing, and we have like 100 members like joining every week. Like, so I guess there is somewhat of a plan of like, we want, like I think we stand for is we want to give back as much as possible and like keep this community as centered towards each other and like community building as possible.
Okay. And does that scare you in some respects that you have 600 people right now, or 600 companies or sales individuals that are following you?
no, I mean, I think it's all great. I think, there's obviously the reason that all this is going well is tough because people are struggling. But I think it's great. And the more people that join, the better. And I think then there's even more opportunity to provide value and help. And it's really, um, like Kanishka stated, we really just want to help as much as possible, make it so it's easier to find resources, connect with other, you know, communities and programs that are doing well. So we're not, and we're not in competition with chambers. We're not in competition. We're not in competition with anybody. We want to promote anybody that's giving back and doing that and make those things easier to find as well.
So how do you organize all these events? Because you have some that are standard every week, but for me, I see constantly new things. Like this week, I just saw the book club. I didn't catch that before, but every week you've got more and more things. How do you organize all of those events? I mean, it seems to me, just from the outside, that this is a full-time job. And I get that three of you are doing it, so that really does help a lot to share in all of that time. But um, how do you organize all these events?
Yeah, so I guess the structure really helps of having, what does an event look like? So we have workshops, office hours, we have networking, and then we have guest speakers. And then here and there we'll have some type of, like book club or something like that. So there's a structure to each type of event, and then we know what goes into those events. And then obviously it's not just us, it's the entire community. People volunteer their time and they're like, hey, I'm really good at X and Y thing, and I think I can provide value. And I say, and we, either Mike, myself, or Connie will take some time out of our day, have like a 30-minute session with them to make sure they know what they're talking about, and then put them on a schedule, and then they come and they take care of it. All we have to do is show up like 15 or 20 minutes prior to that to make sure that they know how to like present themselves and how to manage the audience and all that kind of stuff. And then we just go with it. But you're right, it is a huge commitment. Like I think between, like, I put at least 15, 20 hours into Grow a week at least.
Wow. How do you spread the word? How are you getting these 600 members, 100 each week? How are you
I
getting them?
think I think mostly because it is a private group. So in terms of the promotion, it's somewhat limited in what we're able to do, but we did feel that keeping it private provides the most amount of value, creating a better overall community. So I'd say it's mostly organic. Yeah, we do some promotions on LinkedIn and our own Facebook, but it's really the members that are telling others about it and inviting people, and I'd say that's how it's just naturally kind of growing.
And to add, Karen, I think to your question about how do we keep this running, it started as a thing that me, Mike, and Connie were doing, but it's no longer just me, Mike, and Connie. It's everybody within that community. So I think it's become a community effort to keep G.R.O.W moving forward.
Okay. And so do you stick with just Buffalo small businesses? I mean, is that what you're trying to, or are you going to try to open it up even more, do you think? Have you had that conversation yet?
Yeah, we've had that conversation. We've talked to some community builders in Rochester and some nearby areas. So we do have plans to expand and try to the virtual environment is a good space it's an opportunity for business owners in different regions to connect, because usually you wouldn't travel an hour or two to go to some other networking event or another workshop. So I think we are attempting that, and that's definitely in the near future.
Okay. And here's a question that I'm just kind of throwing out there, though. Did you have a conversation about Facebook versus LinkedIn? How did you pick the Facebook medium over?
I've never really been a part of any group, and I know nothing about LinkedIn
Okay.
groups. So Kanishka had some familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Connie is part of a bunch of other groups. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah. So we, right now we have a Facebook group, and it's just, I think a lot of what we didn't think about what's the best way to do this. Let's just do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the easiest thing at the time was Facebook, and we did that. And I think 3 days ago, we got somebody to volunteer their time in helping us. His name is Vinko. He's helping us start a LinkedIn group. So now we're going to actually branch onto LinkedIn, so then you can access the events from 2 different platforms.
Wow. And I bet you your numbers are going to go crazy. So I have a question for those that are listening. Do you have to be an owner of a business to join?
My mother is in it. She's not an owner. My dad's in it. I think anyone. I mean, there are other things that in there that is obviously helpful for business owners, but can be helpful to anybody. I mean, public speaking. We did one. You don't have to be a business owner to do public speaking or be good at it or want to know more.
The productivity workshops.
Productivity workshops, fitness, body and mind workshops. So it's centered around business, but anybody's, even though it's a private group, essentially anybody's welcome.
Okay. All right, great. So what do you hope to accomplish, with the page? Do you have an end goal? Do you have like a number that, a member number that you're striving for, or a number of events, or, is it just open right now to any ideas that are coming in?
Well, I mean, right now everything is different. So when we get back to whatever, the new normal is, there's certainly adjustment. When everyone's back to work, we're probably not going to do an event every day. So we're going to get probably more selective on the types of events and exactly what's going to be out there. But we're still going to be extremely active and find other ways to add value. And that's where I think as probably, we have to really go over, and that's what we're figuring out. We know we want to keep this going, and we know we want this to continue to be bigger and better and provide more and more and more and more value. It's just figuring that out. And the thing is, we're going to continue to add ideas ongoing, no matter what our initial plan is.
I think a big part of why it's growing so much and why there's so much value people are getting is the mini ecosystems I've been noticing being built through it. all these business owners are now friends. You know, they're sharing each other's businesses with other people. You know, they're facilitating the growth of other businesses, not just their own. And the concept of, you know, you build your community and your community will build you. And it's really, that's something that I think everybody within that group identifies under. And we don't need to, you know, ask them to, hey, could you reach out and like share this with your friend? They're inviting people because they've received the value. And from feedback, there's some businesses that if they weren't part of Grow, you know, from what we've heard, they would have gone under, or like Grow is like the sole reason that they're, you know, being able to function right now.
Wow.
So it's really made some impact, I think.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that it probably helps those get a little bit more motivated. I mean, I find that I'm more motivated when I see all the things that you have available, and it gives me new avenues, new ideas to try. Can you just, you know, for those that are listening who want to learn more about the group, can you share some of the events and activities that you do have so that they can get an idea of what they might experience?
Are you pulling it up, Mike?
Yeah.
The list is so long.
Yeah, I can. I'll have it. I don't know if you want to answer something while I'm doing that.
Yeah. I mean, so we have you know, Facebook ad workshops. We have SBA loan work, office hours. So an office hour is when we have panelists come who are specialists in a certain field, and you can ask any question that you want from these panelists, and they're from different fields and talking about the same topic. So we had like a banker and what were the other? I think it was a banker and a bookkeeper and what was the other?
An
attorney. So they were all talking about SBA loans. So we have these different perspectives about the same topic covered by specialists. So our office hours do that, and then workshop is a direct walkthrough of how to do a certain skill or a certain thing, how to learn how to do something new, whether it's business planning, whether it's how to run your own marketing and advertising, how to conduct yourself professionally, how to organize your workspace, how to create, like, you know, get funding. There's all kinds of cool stuff. But Michael, I think you have it up now. You can go through it.
Yeah. So we have, and every Monday we have, I mean, it's really the best way to get the event. The Monday kickoffs are the best way to get integrated, I'd say, with Grow in terms of the events, because it has a mixture of everything, and then you can network. And we have usually a business owner on that will give, you know, some unique perspectives on what they've been doing while trying to provide some motivation for those in there. So we have, you know, aside from those, we have a Zoom workshop even this week. So we had a book club. I've never been to a book club before. I went to my first book club yesterday, and I thought it was great. So we're doing that monthly. Today we have a productivity, working at home workshop, organizing your workspace workshop tomorrow, a hot seat tomorrow, which is somebody literally just gets in front of everyone and says their problems or what they need help with, and people share their ideas and thoughts. Friday, we have a direct mail workshop. You know, that's a lot of people forget about that. Next week, we have a Zoom workshop. So we're all on Zoom, but a lot of us probably don't know a lot of the different features still with it. We just get on and we do our Zoom call. We're doing a business insurance office hour, a podcasting workshop, networking and building connection office hour, a sales workshop, optimizing your business productivity through exercise and mindset. And then we have a ton of other ideas. So we still have more to fill, but those will have a MailChimp workshop, some more, you know, Facebook and marketing, office hours and workshops. I think Kanishka's putting together an ad and funnel workshop. But they keep coming. And then as we're meeting people, like, oh, they would be great, or they reach out to us. And there's a lot of information that people want right now, and a lot that, and people are willing to also share, which is great. That
is amazing. I mean, that was just, most of that was just in This Week and Next. So
yeah, it's
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. So if someone's listening and they hear those things and they really sound interesting, how does someone find your group? How can they join?
They can search Grow Buffalo Business on Facebook.
Okay, as easy as that, and then
As easy
just
as
hit
that.
the join button
Hmm.
and then start. So each of my podcasts, I like to finish off the podcast with 3 tips to share, helping people with whatever topic we're talking about. So today, with your group, how can listeners learn more about the group itself? If they want to learn more about some of those programs that you have, do they need to join it? I guess they would have to, right? Because it's a private group. Um, so they would need to join the group, and then they can explore. I think you just changed the format a little bit. Now you have a place where we can go to look at the events that are coming for the next week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think the best way, and the thing is you come in and somebody just told you about it. You don't really know where to go or who to ask or what to say, what to do. So we do try to be mindful of that and provide updates and reminders and things like that. But really, the best way and easiest way, because you're not going to go through 200 posts all and scroll through for an hour. You could, but they're in the popular topics, there's folders created. So if you want to look at events, whether it's our events or events people have posted, if you want to see past event videos or summaries, there's a folder for that. There's a folder for resources. So if you could be as simple as SBA.com or US Chamber or other things that maybe you wouldn't think of. There's a list of just resources in many different varieties, and there's a bunch of other folders. So the folders, utilizing that, especially as a new member, is great. But be active, participate in something, and you'll go from there.
Now, what I really like too is that if you can't make it to some of the events, you have them recorded. So you can go back through the feed. Do you have those in a folder as well, or?
Yeah, so that's in the event summaries
Okay.
information folder.
Because then you can get a feel for how the event goes off and what you can
Mm-hmm.
learn from it. I like, going through those too, because if I can't make it to one of those events, I can still catch it. I can still see it. So that's really nice. Um, how can, let's see, how can someone who is a member of the group become more active with, 600 members, um, having their own business, seeing all the events that you have? How I think that it is probably beneficial for someone to become active, but how do they become active? Because there's so many things going on.
So I think the first step is, come to events, stay active, meet people, and get involved and start connecting. And then if once you start doing that, just reach out to myself, Mike, or Connie, and then maybe there's a skill set that you have that we want to use for one of our events that we can talk about, or maybe you want to volunteer your time to help us organize. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to get involved, and all you got to do is reach out, and we spend most of our time on there, so we'll respond quickly.
Okay, great. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share about the group that we haven't covered? Can you think of anything that we might have forgotten or missed?
I don't think so. I think we
All
did a
right.
good job. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
I think when this is all done, we're gonna try to maintain a level of virtual events, but we'll also have some in-person events. So to
Ah,
complement that,
okay.
people are like, there are obviously two sides to the coin. Some people love the virtual events because they don't have to drive, they don't like, it just increases their productivity, while other people are missing that personal connection. So again, back to giving back to the community to the best of our ability, we want to be able to facilitate both those type of people. So we'll try to maintain a level of these virtual events while still having some live events.
yeah, and I would say, new member or not, just even if you don't attend, all the events, that's fine. There's a lot. Attend something, especially the networking ones, the Monday ones, the speed networking, things like the hot seat, and that's where you'll easily get more integrated into it. But share your ideas, your thoughts, suggestions. I mean, we're open. There's nothing that's like hard set, like we 100% have to do it this exact way or keep it this way. We want to hear from others.
Okay. And when you do go to a in-person meeting, you're going to have to get a huge venue for that because you're going to have probably over 1,000 before this is over. Hopefully the pandemic will be over soon, but I think this is great. I want to thank Mike and Kanishka for their time today to talk to us about G.R.O.W. Buffalo Business Facebook page. Remember, G.R.O.W. means giving, resources, opportunities, and wisdom. Thank you both for your time. I think it's great if you're a small business owner or salesperson or someone who's just interested in getting involved, meeting other people, kind of working on some of organizational skills, a book club. I mean, there's just a ton of things that you can all do. Please go to the Facebook page. That's G.R.O.W. Buffalo Business Facebook page, and join. You will not regret it. You really won't. You'll be very busy for the next few weeks. It'll take your time, and if you're frustrated with the pandemic, this will actually really help you out. Thanks for listening, and if you like what you hear on SharpHR Career Corner, please leave a review and share with your family and friends. You can find us on all the podcast media services such as iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and many others. Have a great day, everyone, and be kind out there. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Thanks.